Hello, my name is Kari Hale, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Magic School, which is one of my favorite AI tools. And I'm also a certified trainer for Magic School, so I love to talk about it for sure. Why do we need Magic School? We know that teachers are overworked and burnt out. Okay, there's always so much going on. So, Magic School is going to be able to help us with that. It can save you hours of time. It's going to help you with lesson planning, differentiation, communication with families. Maybe you have a mad parent and you need some help with an email, sending something back. Magic School is the leading AI platform for educators. I know we have Chat GPT, but I feel like teachers are better off using Magic School because it centers more about around our educational process. And then Magic School is easy to use, so you can get started right away. This is kind of what it looks like. There are 60 plus, I think there are 80 now actually, AI powered tools that can help you with lesson planning. And you can see some of the choices: student work feedback, informational text, the text scaffolder, lesson planning, report card, comments. So many things for all subjects as well. And how can it help teachers? It can create instructional materials, differentiate for success, engage families and communities, and generate original content. So there are some of the choices over here. This is probably one of the most important slides, so I'm really going to go over each one of these. This is best practices for using AI. The first thing, you always want to check for bias and accuracy because sometimes AI is not always correct. So you definitely want to do your fact checking before you share anything with students. The next one, the 80-20 approach, maybe even a 70-30 approach, but I want you can think about using AI for your initial work, but make sure to add your final touch, maybe add your modifications, however you want to change it, and review for bias and accuracy and contextualize appropriately for the last 20%. So make sure it's coming from your voice. Your judgment matters. Your AI generated content, you can use it as a starting point, but not a final solution. And you always want to make sure you adhere to your school's guidelines. Know the limits. Our AI's knowledge stops on the last training date, so recent topics may not be up to date. That's one thing. Usually, most generative AI programs are about a year behind, so you're not going to get up to date information. And last but not least, you definitely want to protect the privacy of your students and parents. You don't want to include personal student details like names or addresses. And they do promptly remove any accidentally submitted information, but you definitely want to make sure that you steer clear of that with names, especially. And here's an example of how to navigate the Magic School platform. You can search right here. You can search for a tool by name in the search bar. There are categories over here: planning for content, questions. You can add, once you find what you want, if you love that one, you can always put a star right there, and that way it's going to populate it toward the top. And you can just go through and scroll through all the different choices that they have. The nice thing about each Magic School tool is it gives you an exemplar for each one. So if you're like, wonder what this means, it's going to generate a rubric. What does that look like? So what you can do is open a tool, and at the very top, it'll say exemplar. So you can click on that, and it's going to give you an example, and you can choose the grade level or whatever, but it's going to give you an example of what that looks like, which I really like. That way you don't have to go try to figure it out on your own. And here's another suggestion. The fastest way to learn is to look at the exemplar, review the outputs, and then identify the strengths and areas for growth for the exemplar prompt and output, because it might not be what you want. And if it's not, you can just keep talking to the chatbot saying, I need it to be this, or I want it to be that. You can just keep on having your conversation. Okay, I'm going to go through and just show you some examples when I'm actually in Magic School. So you can go down through there and see all of my choices. Make sure I'm right there. Okay. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, But here are the different tools across the top, like we talked about earlier. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to choose report card comments. So on the report card comments, here's the exemplar that I was talking about, but you could actually put your own information in here if you wanted to. Or with the exemplar, they're saying this person's an eighth grader. It's a he for pronouns. We know that's important these days. Areas of strength, areas of growth, distracted easily, struggles with independent work, etc. And then if I click generate, it's going to give me an example of what this is going to look like. So I could do this with my own students, for my own students. So here are the areas of strength. Here are the opportunities for growth. And once again, you're not going to just copy and paste this into the report card or into an email. You're going to go through and think about the 80-20%, 80%, 20%. Let this be your starting point, and then go back and change what you need and make it sound like it's your voice, not coming from a robot. Okay. Then you can even say, read it aloud to me. So I want to see what it sounds like. What I like about Magic School, look at the bottom down here. It says, what strategies can I implement to help him stay focused during independent work? Or can you suggest some activities to boost his confidence in tackling independent tasks? So that's one thing we always want to do, is give some feedback to parents. So Magic School, this is Raina, that's the name of their chatbot, is saying, hey, I can help you with this. So look at what I just ended up getting. Break tasks into smaller steps, set clear goals, use a timer, create a distraction-free environment, incorporate movement breaks, use visual aids. And once again, I can keep on going. Specific activities for movement breaks. What are some effective mindfulness exercises I can teach him? You can keep going, or you can ask your own. Make this more simplified. This is too difficult. Make it in a simpler language. And I think, let me see if it can translate to Spanish. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to try. I'm thinking it can. Oh, looky there. So I can even have it in a different language if I need to. So I love Magic School so much more than ChatGPT, especially when it comes to teachers. And let it be your assistant. It's going to be an assistant for you.